are using this, we need to embrace it. Now, as we think about these tools, we need to make sure that we're helping our students. You know, the simple things we've talked about, the online presence, making sure that they're clean is really good. But the next thing that we need to make sure is that they know how to use what's out there. Okay, the last thing, and I'll tell you on myself, the first time I went to work for an accounting firm, I was so underprepared. I graduated from Clemson University. I did really well there, but I didn't know squat about real accounting. Okay, and I didn't really understand how to use a lot of resources. And so today, when your student goes to an employer and they say, "Oh, look, I really need you to do some research on this topic," they better know that they can go to AICPA website or FASB website, and they can find out a lot of information. Those are resources I make my students use in my class. Okay, so let's take a look here, and I want you to take a look. Let's just go to the AICPA website. How many of you use that in your classes? The website. Just a few of you. Well, let's take a look at what's out there. And here's the AICPA website. If you haven't used this, you're going to love this. Go to AICPA News and go to AICPA TV. I'm going to give you a minute because I already preloaded these to make sure I didn't crash and burn. Go to AICPA TV. This is the best thing I have run into. I use it at my seminars. I use it in my classes. So click on AICPA TV. And if I want to hear about service organizations.
Hello, my name is Chris Halterman of Ernst & Young. I'm chair of the AICPA's Trust Data Integrity Task Force. I'm here today to introduce a new idea to you, which is the AICPA SOC2 report, which are reports on controls at a service.
It's there. I am actually using these videos to help me prepare because I'm going to do a session on SAS 70 changes, the SOC 1, 2, and 3 reports. And they have these videos out there that are tremendous. And we can bring them into our classroom. They're free. Okay? We need to be making use of that. Now, let's look at one other area. How many of you have gone to the research areas? And this, now remember, I'm not even logged into AICPA. I have a membership. I have research abilities, pay the subscription fee to get more stuff. But when I want to do research, the other day when Bill came to my class via Skype, he was talking about ethics. The class before, I had talked about ethics using the standards. I went to research, I went to standards, and I came down here to Code of Professional Conduct. And rather than use my textbook, we went to the AICPA Code of Professional Conduct, and I covered the material in the textbook, and they referenced here. Well, then Bill came in the next class through Skype, and he talked to them about ethics from an overall view, from the philosophers to where else did we?
To practical business application.
Yeah.
Top choices.
Right.
That's the right thing to do.
And how did Bill and I prepare for this? On Skype, okay? And so they got to see the tools that they needed to use. So instead of saying, well, you got to be independent, we went to independence, integrity, and objectivity, and we talked about it. And then Bill came in and brought it back into place and said, you have to get a frame of reference, whether it's religious, whether it's moral, whether you've developed it from whatever. You have to come up with a frame of reference on how to deal with your clients. And for those of you, most of us have been in public accounting. I always tell my students, they don't believe it, but every day I was in tax season, somebody asked me to do something unethical. Every single day. Every day. And I had to have a good way of dealing with it, and so I've got this client that helps me pay my bills, and they say, I want to do this, and I say, well, that's against my religious beliefs, or that's against my ethical framework, or I think that's immoral. What's that client going to do? Say, adios, I'll find somebody who has a better framework that I like, okay? And so what I worked on with my students, and Bill helped me out a lot, is said, okay, I want to take the rules and regulations. I want you to learn what that means and how to apply it and keep your client. And ultimately, my clients, I argued, I said, we can do that, but here's the aftermath. And here's what's going to happen. If we do it the right way, in the long run, you're better off, and it will work out. And so as we think about these resources, the students need to know that they're there. These are free. Go to the FASB website. Go to the FASB website right here. And if you just click on it, it'll take you there. I'm not linked in, so Here's Financial Accounting Standards Boards. If, and I've got to pull the correct link up, you can actually see the brand new pronouncements. The ASCs, as they're issued, they are here for free. And for those of us who have the FASB codification access, it's $150 for educators, it's $800 if you're a professional, it's $400 if you buy it with a subscription. But I had a CPA at a seminar say, look, I can't afford that, I don't want it. Before we had codification, all I had to do was go to the, they would have it published, and I could take the AICPA publication, I could read it. I said, well, you still can because it's here on the FASB website. So we teach I teach my students how to use these resources. These are free resources that they need to take advantage of. Let's see here. As we go through, the other one that I want you to consider, and this one is great. I use this all the time. How many of you subscribe to the CPA Daily Letter, CPA Letter Daily? Just a couple. These are tremendous resources. Bill and I stayed up till 12:30, 1 o'clock last night talking about all this stuff. I get a lot of these. I get them from all kinds of places. We need to get our students, and I'm trying, log in here, get a subscription. Now, hopefully a couple of you are actually putting your email in right now, and you're going to get subscribed to the CPA letter. Okay? And that's what, I don't know what you guys have done, but in my today and yesterday, I have so far gotten new textbooks from Wiley, from McGraw-Hill, and I've signed on to my accounting lab. And I did that all while I was listening, and I just said, okay, let's see the website. I logged in. This is what students want to do. I don't want to write it down on a piece of paper and then go home and take care of it. I want to do it right then. Your students can do it right then as well. So these are great resources, and what you want to hear your employers say, wow, I hired your student and they revolutionized my office. How many of you can say that for your career? I entered public accounting with Deloitte Haskins and Sell. They had 2 computers. The secretary had one, and the audit team had the other. That was it. And so I learned computers. I bought my own. I actually took anybody remember a Commodore 64? I took a Commodore 64 to a Big 8 accounting firm because my handwriting's terrible, and I became enamored with computers and technology. And I used that to launch my career. I became the training person for every firm I worked for. When they had new software, they wanted to try something, I was the one who did it. I used to do sessions on how to not do paper, but to do it on Symphony, and how you can make that work. I mean, I revolutionized firms that I went to. Your students should be able to do the same. So I've run out of time, but here's the deal. If you will go to my website, later today, at least by tomorrow, I have posted the video of what we've just covered in here. I highly recommend and hope you will take a look and go to these links. You'll check it out. Sign up for them. Try them out. See what they have to offer. Create your web presence so when you Google your name, they come up and go, wow, this professor's pretty cool. Okay? Make sure you do that. The other part, I'm going to embarrass Clarence. Have any of you gone to the CPA report? And as my buddies have all said, it's scary when some old guys like me and Clarence are put in the same breaking tradition, CPAs of the future. Well, here we are. And go to the next page. There's me and Clarence. And Clarence gets to talk about his IFRS and his international experience. I talk about my technology. I mean, that's one of the nicest things that has ever happened to me, to be associated as a 54-year-old with CPAs of the future. And that's what you guys need to do, okay? Break out of your shell. Don't have the last years of your career kind of hanging on and waiting for retirement. I know I'll get there one day. But make sure you're on the cutting edge. It's fun, okay? I appreciate it. You guys have been great, and hope you really got something.